It's a Northwest Lifestyle Weekend on Como News. Here's Tom Hutler and Shannon O'Kelly with more IRG Health Talk.
All right, next guest, Dr. Ron Krueger, owns Krueger Sleep and Sinus in Everett. A lot of folks go through this. Sleep Awareness Week is underway, and we want to talk about getting that good night's sleep, which is so important to all of us, Shannon.
You know, no doubt, Tom. I mean, March is Sleep Awareness Month, and obviously there was a Sleep Awareness Week. We talked about moving the clocks forward last week. You know, that causes that biological clock in your body to change, but it's amazing how many Americans don't get enough sleep, and Ron Krueger, Dr. Krueger, is going to talk about sleep.
Now, and how important it is. Here's Shannon O'Kelly and Dr. Krueger.
Dr. Krueger, welcome. Sleep and Sinus Clinic. Tell us about your practice.
Highly specialized. Started my life as a general ENT, ear, nose, and throat doctor. Was drawn into the technology of sinus work and nasal, and so my surgical craft is all focused on that area. About 10 years ago, though, I did pick up a second set of boards in sleep medicine, and it has been it's become my passion, trying to figure out sleep, because we still have a lot to learn about sleep.
Well, I know I'm always tired, and most Americans are, I would assume.
Two-thirds of Americans say they're tired on a daily basis.
Let's talk about sleep, because actually March is Sleep Awareness Month, and I believe there is actually a sleep week.
Sleep week comes in right after daylight savings time for good reason.
Yeah, for good reason.
That's a rough week for a lot of people to adjust to that hour shift. It changes our focus. It changes what we're used to for sunrise and sunset. And so it affects our sleep.
Tell me about sleep and tell our listeners about sleep. Like I said earlier, I mean, I feel like, I don't know if I get enough sleep. I probably don't. I feel like I get up in the morning and I'm tired. It takes me a little while to wake up. I don't know if it's just because I'm getting old.
Well, let me introduce sleep to you as if I was talking to the FDA about a new drug.
Okay.
And I'm going to bring in a new drug to you that has no side effects. There's no problem with getting too much of it. But if you get the right amount, you will look better, you will feel better, you'll have a higher testosterone level, you'll function better, and you'll be 50% less likely to be involved in motor vehicle accidents. Who wants to sign up for that drug?
Sign me up right now.
It's free.
Okay.
It's absolutely free today because it's just sleep.
Tell us about sleep. Tell us how sleep works, why the body needs sleep. I often think, why does the body need sleep? It's the time for the brain to recharge. What's going on in sleep, and why is it important from a physiological standpoint?
Well, sleep is doing a lot of things, a lot of cleanup and a lot of storage is what we look at. And so at night, when you're sleeping, especially when we get into that magical sleep, which is sleep paralysis, rapid eye movement sleep, when every muscle in your body is paralyzed, which is a amazing regenerative time. You can only imagine from your end of it, regenerating things, that you want your athletes, you want those injured to get as much REM sleep as possible, because that's when everything is repaired. At the same time, the brain is cleaning out garbage that collects, and then it's putting everything else into files. So it's highly necessary. We know that without sleep, people die. There's a very unusual condition where people develop a progressive insomnia, and they're typically dead within 6 to 9 months.
Wow. So, in simplified terms, sleep at night is your brain basically doing a computer backup. It's cleaning up, it's storing stuff, it's doing...
Well, when I say clean up, it's not just cleaning up the files, it's cleaning out garbage that collects in our brain. And when we don't clean out that glial material, the glions and this material that collects, a lot of people think that that's part of the development of dementia and Alzheimer's.
Okay, so tell me about the phases of sleep, because you talked about REM. That's the magical place that we all talk about, getting to REM. Tell us about that. I'm falling asleep at night. How long does it take me? Take me through those phases.
Sounds good. So when you lay down, close your eyes, commit to going to sleep, you've built up a sleep burden. Melatonin levels have peaked. Different things have come in along with fatigue and tiredness that you're ready to go to sleep. You close your eyes, and the next thing you know, you're dropping down through the different levels of sleep. Sometimes we enter into a deep sleep, sometimes we enter superficial, but ultimately we work our way down towards rapid eye movement. That's the holy grail of sleep. Frankly, we only get about 2 hours of it a night.
Oh, really?
It's not the whole thing, but those are the most important 2 hours that we can get in the entire night. The rest is surrounded by this slow wave and fast wave sleep that we have.
And so if I'm interrupted or there's things going on in my body that disrupt that REM sleep, or that good sleep, even if it's 2 hours, I don't get those 2 hours, am I in trouble?
You're in big trouble if you can't get your REM secured.
More with Dr. Ron Krueger and Shannon O'Kelly next on Como.
It's a Northwest lifestyle weekend on Como News. This is IRG's Health Talk. Back to Tom Hutler and Shannon O'Kelly.
All right, hope you didn't lapse into a little nap there. We're talking about sleep, and here's more with Dr. Ron Krueger and Shannon O'Kelly.
Dr. Krueger, again, thank you for taking time out of your day and joining us and talking about sleep. You just talked about REM sleep, how important it is. We're talking about sleep because March is Sleep Awareness Month, but I want to share something with you. It appears that 62% of Americans don't get enough sleep and try to shake it off with remedies, coffee, I don't know what it is, some stimulants, different things that we might try over the counter. But naturally, we should be able to sleep. I just don't understand why it's so hard for us to sleep.
Well, we're depriving ourselves. And if you look at the statistics on who's getting 8 hours of sleep, it's not enough people. And it's taking a big effect on individuals and society as a whole. And so my best recommendation is the easiest prescription I can give people is to get 8 hours of sleep. Sometimes it's easier than it sounds because people have things that don't let them get to sleep. They have problems that don't let them maintain sleep, or they have inefficient sleep, i.e. interruptions. Either they snore and have sleep apnea, or their bed partner snores and has sleep apnea and keeps them up. And so managing those problems, those set of problems, can get everybody more efficient sleep.
So sleep studies, and sleep intervention and sleep treatment, that's what you do. What can you do? Give us some fixes.
So, the first thing to do is the self-help. Fix yourself. Put away the screens. Put down the phone. Put down the news, things that annoy you in the bedroom. Make sure the room is cold. Put in sun-darkening shades so you're not woken up early. And do everything you can to preserve that sleep environment. Don't be texting in the middle of the night, checking Facebook and all those things. That fragments sleep, especially in our younger kids who can't disconnect from media.
So, sleeping with the TV on, this white noise that some people think is important. I got to tell you, I sometimes fall asleep. I feel like I fall asleep better with white noise, something in the background. Am I just bluffing myself?
Yeah, white noise is just fine, but white noise with a screen, not so fine.
Okay, got it. Okay, good. I'll kill the screen.
Exactly.
Kill the screen time. So if the conservative methodology, self-help, works, that's great. But what about the next step? You talked about sleep apnea, which can be dangerous.
Sleep apnea can be very dangerous, especially for those who are driving. And again, impaired drivers have 50% more accidents than those who are not impaired. And so it's a big deal to look into that. So if you suspect you have sleep apnea, which a lot of times a bed partner will point out, significant snoring, witnessed apneic pause or witness pauses in your breathing, difficulty getting out of bed in the morning, that's the time to stop and do a home sleep study. And the good news is now they can be performed at home. You don't have to go to a sleep lab.
Hold it. You can set me up with an apparatus and you can measure and take recordings as I sleep at home in my own bed and identify those episodes of maybe what we call apnea, where that's when someone all of a sudden is gasping for air.
Correct. That's when you stop breathing. And we can figure all that out with a very small device you take home, comfort of your own home.
So just so our listeners know, when you stop breathing and you're sleeping, that's not a good thing.
That's a bad thing.
And that's just not your sleep, but that affects cardiovascular. It kind of triggers a cascade of events in your body.
It stresses all parts of the body.
Yeah, okay. Listen, we're running out of time here. Sleep is a big topic. I want to have you back and talk about some other things that you're doing from an ENT standpoint. I know you can do some things surgically. Can you come back with us?
Lots of options other than CPAP.
Thanks, Dr. Krueger, for your time and your information. All you listeners out there, work on your sleep.
All right, you've been listening to Dr. Ron Krueger. He owns Krueger Sleep and Sinus and Everett, talking about the importance of sleep, his practice, and Sleep Awareness Month. drkrueger.com. That's KRUEGER.com, Shannon. And we're going to come back and wrap things up and tell us about another webinar that's coming up right after this time out on Como.